Okay, welcome to a short video tutorial on how to use Virtual DJ at WTJU. This is free software, or rather this is a free version of the software. There is a paid version that we're going to be upgrading to at WTJU at some point. It's not expensive, but it allows you to have multiple audio card outputs. But for the time being, this is the free version that is installed on the Air Studio computer and also on the production studio computer. Right now, this version is actually what's running on my office computer, but it's the same software on all three, so it should look quite similar. Um, so when you open it up, it should look like this. There are 4 decks, 4 places where you can load a track. There are also a lot of volume knobs and a lot of things, frankly, we're not going to use, but just note that there are 4 decks here. Down here you have basically what's a Windows file tree. So this is all the drives on my computer, and this is the music server, the folders that are on our music server right now. Over here, once we open some folders, this is where files will display. You'll also see down here there's something called a side list. So that means as you're browsing through here, through this music server, you can actually drag files down here to kind of keep them, sort of ready at hand. It's kind of like if you had a whole bunch of CDs that you were sort of, going to load up, but you hadn't loaded yet, but they were sitting there right next to you on the desk. This is kind of like your side stack of music. So you're going to go to what's called the music drive, or M drive, on the Air Studio computer. And that's, you see here that the actual name of the server is called Lasagna. That was Pete Yadlowski started to name our servers after food. So anyway, on the M drive, on the music drive, there are several folders there. There's blues, folk, jazz, rock, some news talk bumpers that we use. Pretty soon there's going to be a classical folder, and so you can just click on one of these and browse around. I'll go into jazz because it's got the most CDs that have been ripped at this point. Now it does take a little while for Virtual DJ to sort of catch up because there are many files in jazz, and so it takes a little while for that to happen. Now, what you do here is basically, if you want to browse, you could just sort of browse through like this. So let's say I know I want some Charles Mingus. So I'll go find Charles Mingus. Where'd it go? There. As of right now, there's only 2 Charles Mingus albums that have been ripped. I can click on that one or that one. So just take my pick. So I want to put Don't Let 'Em Drop That Atomic Bomb on Me and Eat That Chicken. So we'll put those 2 on our side list. Then let's say we want to do some Art Blakey. So Art Blakey's right up here. We'll do Hard Drive and Late Spring. So we'll just put that on our side list. And then let's say we want some Bill Evans. So there's Bill Evans. And I've got a couple of live albums there. So we'll put Around Midnight on there. So you can make these side lists. You don't have to use the side list. It's totally optional, but I'm just doing it to show you how it works. Then you can drag something from here straight up to the deck, like that. Or you can drag something from the side list up to the deck. Same thing. And so you see I've actually queued up 2 tracks here, Bill Evans Trio and Charles Mingus. When you drag a track up there, it will automatically put it in queue. Now I can hit the play button here, and it's playing, and I can hit pause. Or I can also, since this is selected and currently highlighted, I can simply hit the space bar to play it, and hit the space bar again to pause it. So, now it's playing. And you'll see that there's a little waveform here to show you kind of where you are in the track, to show you kind of what's coming up in terms of the waveform. And also this is another visual cue on how far into the track you are. You can skip ahead with a simple left click. That'll skip ahead within the track. Same thing here. You can left click over here and it'll skip ahead or behind. You could even kind of like scratch if that's something you want to do, but I recommend against it for the vast majority of our shows. But it is there if you want to do it. Over here, same thing. So what I did to select this one, I simply left clicked on 2, and that makes this one now selected. You hit the space bar, and it's going to start playing Eat That Chicken. Right? So same thing here too. I can also hit play and pause if I preferred to. Or I could skip ahead to this precise spot on that track if I wanted to, and then hit play. So you're probably asking, okay, this is all well and good. How do I do a fade? How do I fade from one track into another? And that's this part down here, the crossfader. So by default, it will be set right in the middle, and decks 1 and 3 will be, so this will be panned all the way to 1 and 3, and this will be panned all the way to 2 and 4. So in other words, I could hit play here, it's playing Bill Evans, and then I could hit play over here, and I can do a little crossfade, so Bill Evans is going to start fading out, and Charles Mingus fading in. Then I can fade back. So an odd selection of two songs to crossfade, but nonetheless, that's how it works. And then it's always important to, if you're not using the crossfader, be sure to put it back into the middle position. There's a lot of other little controls up here that we don't use, some of this EQ stuff, quite frankly. It's not really something that's worth using. You can fade down particular tracks, or particular decks rather. I don't use that very often, but it is an option. There's also the pitch bender here. Again, we don't really bend pitch too much because we're not club DJs, but that is an option if that's something that you had an interest in doing. The Q button doesn't really do anything in this free version, at least nothing that I can really tell. It does not send tracks. Actually, what it does is it puts in a Q marker, but it does not. It's not Q in the way that you understand it on the board. On the board, when you hit Q, it plays it through that little speaker. Virtual DJ, the free edition, is not made for that, so that's why we'll need to get a different version of this software that has a separate output so that you can Q directly from within the software. We don't have that right now, so. What you have to do basically, this is just a tool to play a number of tracks and load them up and have it ready to go, and also interface directly with our music library. It's not the only one out there. Other folks use different pieces of software, but this is one that we've got installed. It works pretty well, and it's free. Because it's free, you can also go to virtualdj.com and download the free edition. I think it's a PC only, though there might be a Mac version. And you can try it at home and kind of get comfortable with it, get used to it. Otherwise, we don't use the sampler or the effects or the record stuff. We don't use most of this. What we do is here at WTJU, basically we're just dragging tracks onto a deck, hitting play, and that's the way it works. I think that's the basic gist. If you have any questions, be sure to ask me. One other thing I totally forgot to mention. If you want to search for an artist, so let's say rather than browse around and see, oh gosh, what do we have? Do we have anything? You can also search for an artist. So let's say I want, I don't know, Charlie Parker. So we'll look up Parker. Well, there we go. So there's somebody called Parker. There's also Charlie Parker. So here's all these Charlie Parker tracks that we have in our ripped collection already. So Charlie Parker, we can just kind of drag that up there, and it'll don't worry about that. And it'll play. So anyway, that is the short version of how this works, and it's pretty neat.
I'm sorry?